Welcome to Rate Sports. Today we have three big headlines that have shook the NBA. Starting off with the first one, Anthony Davis plans to opt out of his contract and re-sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. This was expected by many, as I think people believed that that tandem of Anthony Davis and LeBron was going to be a threat for years to come, especially when LeBron, after winning Finals MVP, said he has many more years left to go. I will break into what that Lakers team I think will look like, what it should look like, and what it most likely will look like next season in a different video. But going on to the second topic, the second headline we have from yesterday, as of 10/14/2020, Jeff Van Gundy met with Houston Rockets ownership and management to discuss their franchise's coaching job. And the compensations will continue on Thursday or today, 10/15. And now we skip ahead to today. Breaking news that the Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey is stepping down. I believe this was a mutual agreement, similar to the Clippers and Doc Rivers one, where it's like, okay, well, listen, you've been in this position for years. There has been no results, and you keep preaching this analytic basketball, but nothing has been done by it. We have been bounced out of the playoffs. We've had good teams that could have went deep into the playoffs, at least to the finals, and it just hasn't been done. I don't think they believe in this analytic 3 point, only shooting the paint, fast paced offense anymore, and I think that is why they have parted ways with Daryl Morey. To continue with the Rockets, they are planning to promote Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations Raphael Stone to that general manager position. He has been a part of the Houston Rockets organization already, and he has played a significant part in that team building progress. Now, this would be interesting to see if they let him get his own approach to how he wants to run the offense, run the team, or if he has that same approach as Daryl Morey, and in fact they will continue the small ball, fast pace, only shoot threes and in the paint, but tweak it a little bit. However, it will be interesting to see if he has the same agenda and the same mindset that Daryl Morey had, because he was a part of this organization already. So did he have that same mindset, or was he a quiet person who just sat back and said, you know what, I'm going to let him run the show. He's the general manager, but at the same time, I don't agree with this, but I will help out and, find the right players to fit his agenda and what his ultimate goal is. And another thing to add on to that, I was thinking that maybe Jeff Van Gundy would have gotten this job because they're clearly in a lot of talks and things are moving quickly now. They just let go of Daryl Morey, and I thought that might have been a positive sign for Jeff Van Gundy. But now, breaking news: John Lucas has gathered even more momentum in the Rockets' head coaching search. So now it shows they're still looking. They're not set in stone on Jeff Van Gundy. They're still out there looking. They're going to be patient with this. They're not going to jump the gun. They are going to take their time to find the right person, to find the right person who's going to fit the system that they're planning on playing, whether they change it or not. And I will ultimately make a new video about the Rockets and about their steps and their direction and what's going to happen with James Harden or Westbrook, what should happen, and like I said, what I think will happen. Now, moving on to a big one. The new Clippers head coach will be Tyron Lue. It is official. He has gotten the job. They have moved him up from the assistant coach to the head coach position. And this is very similar for how he got the head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was the assistant coach first. David Blatt didn't pull through. He made it to the finals, but at the same time, that could be debated that LeBron carried them to the finals with a poor coach, as he has done before. And as it could be said for David Blatt, I think it can also be said for Tyron Lue. I'm seeing a lot of they got rid of a coach who blows 3-1 leads for someone who comes back being down 1-3. But at the same time, it was LeBron's leadership, his motivational speeches, his overall persona, he initiated that comeback. He was the vocal leader of that comeback. I don't think it was so much of Tyron Lue, but at the same time, you have to give him credit. He was a part of it. He was the coach, so that's still on his resume. But at the same time, well, that's still on his resume. The same can be said for Doc Rivers. He was a part of this coach. He was a part of the coaching staff. He was the assistant coach. He was a part of the team who just blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. So while you give him his respect for, yeah, he came back from one. He was the coach from the Cleveland Cavaliers, who was the only team to come back from one in the finals. At the same time, he did just blow a 3-1 lead. But I will say this. I think the players are happy to have him on the team because he is a coach where you can easily get your voice across and tell him, all right, well, be quiet. I'm going to talk. I'm going to lead this, and you're going to be quiet. And I think that's why Paul George and Kawhi likes this, or they will like this, because they will be able to get their voice across, and it's not like someone is just commanding that leadership role, so someone will be able to step up and give their own input. Now, with this addition of Tyron Lue, it comes with Chauncey Billups, and Larry Drew will be coming on to the coaching staff as well, with Chauncey Billups being the lead assistant. Now, add one more thing to this to close out the video. When I'm going to go back to how I mentioned the players liking Tyron Lue as the coach because they could give their own input. They could coach the team as well. I think this goes back to what Kyrie said a couple of weeks ago about Steve Nash getting the coaching job in Brooklyn, which I totally disagree with. But what Kyrie was saying was, with Steve Nash as Steve Nash is the coach, but I will be able to coach. KD will be able to coach. And while I do think it was poor choice in words, poor timing in general, because he had just been added as the head coach, and for Kyrie to come out and just say, well, yeah, I'm going to coach, KD is going to coach, Steve Nash isn't really the coach. I think with someone of Steve Nash's resume, you do not say that about him as a coach. Steve Nash will still have to prove himself as a coach, but that was poor choice in words by Kyrie. But I think he was referring to what him and LeBron was able to do with Tyron Lue, how they was able to coach, they was able to get their points across easily, they was able to dictate how plays were called, they was able to dictate how things move throughout the game because Tyron Lue was that sort of coach. So I think the Clippers players, I think they'll like it. We'll see what happens. I will be making another video, though, about the Clippers as well, what their team will look like. Montrezl Harrell and Paul George to what does Kawhi, what does he want in that situation. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe for more content, for more NBA videos daily, and enjoy the rest of the day.